So this video is about Peugeot 607 users. Now, for quite a number of users of this model of Peugeot vehicle, they will know that this particular component you are looking at on the screen, that is the power window or master power window control switch that you will usually find on the driver's uh, door card. So they do. I wouldn't say they fail often, but I would say they are known. It's one of the weaknesses of 607. So they do fail. However, it's not every user that will experience it. Meaning, there's a way you can elongate the lifespan. So for people who their own are failing constantly or even now and then it means you are not applying what those people that are not experiencing the failure of this switch, you're not applying what they do on your own vehicle. That's why yours is always failing. And it's not a cheap component. Honestly, other models of Peugeot vehicle, their own, it's not just that they are cheaper than this one. You can actually buy them as peanuts on AliExpress. But this particular one, the 607 one, you even find it there. It's more complex. This particular module or switch, it's more complex than other Peugeot models that do fail, like Peugeot 307, 407, and the rest. So what I'm saying is not only Peugeot 607 that do have that issue. Even 406, some users are their own have had issue. I will mention things that usually accelerate the failure. So the reason why I'm doing this one specifically is because these are the users that will have spend more when theirs fail than other ones. The other ones can buy it more cheaper, so it won't really bother you if it fails that often. Now, how do you prevent this from failing? Number one, use it less. Use it less. I mean, it fails because the more you use it, the more the chances of failure is higher. And how do you not use it all the time? If your windows are always up, then you have no business touching the switch. You might be wondering how can your windows be up? The logic behind it is a class of a vehicle like Peugeot 607 shouldn't have any business running with windows down. In other words, is a class of car that should be on AC most of the time, if not all the time. I don't use mine. I have the same vehicle. It doesn't matter. This switch is irrespective of phase 1 or phase 2, Z8 or Z9. So the production year of 607 does not matter. But their switches are expensive. So if you can't afford to fix the AC of your Peugeot 607 if it's faulty, or you can't afford to use AC because of the norm that it consumes more fuel with the AC than without AC, then I think you bought a wrong vehicle. You should have gone for something different. The 607 is a luxury vehicle. It shouldn't be for those who are into economy, trying to cut down costs at every opportunity or whatever reason. So I think you bought a wrong vehicle. It may be a better opportunity if after watching this video to look for something else, sell the vehicle, look for something else. I'm being honest because if you can't even afford to run the car with AC, then there are some other maintenance costs that you can't. In that case, it means the car is going to die sooner than you expect. So Meaning also that if you're having issues all the time, there's failure here and there, it means financially you're just not up to the task to keep the car running. So if you don't use the switch, why would it fail? You know, this is just the logic behind this question. It's not about the scientific side of it. You know, yeah, there are some things that could fail even when you don't use them. But I'm saying these are electrical components, not mechanical. So when you don't even touch it, why would it fail? I'm saying it because mine, I don't touch this any of these window switches. How many of them you can see on the screen? 4, right? I don't touch them. Even this particular one, that knob that controls the external rear view mirror, or also known as side mirrors, I don't even touch that one. I mean, it could take months before I even touch it. Reason being, once I enter my vehicle, I mean, basically, I'm the only one driving the car. So, I don't even bother to memorize the seat because mine came with electronic seat adjustment and all that. So, memorizing it, saving it means even if another person adjusts it, once I press the memory, it will bring it back to the side mirrors, the seat, the everything back to how I saved it. So I've never had any reason to start adjusting the mirror. Once I see, for months, or if not, sometimes more than a year or so, before I even have a need to even touch that knob to assess adjusting the external rear mirror. So I'm saying it's not just these switches, those buttons on this switch assembly that controls the door windows. No, I'm even talking about even the rear view mirrors, the external rear view mirrors. Likewise, the other switch behind that controls the rear doors, the cut off control of rear door windows. I mean, the point is, when you don't use, I'm not saying if you're a family man, you probably won't get to, but if your car is always on AC, it mustn't even always be on AC. Your windows can be up even without your AC. There are sometimes I will start my vehicle, maybe very cold at night or very cold morning. There's no point to switch on your compressor. All you need is to switch on your blower, because that's advantage with the 607 AC control system. You can switch on the blower without the compressor coming up, unlike the 407 that as soon as you are switching on the blower, the compressor comes up as well. So you can use only the external air can come in without you switching on the compressor to reduce the temperature of the air, or adjusting it to heater to increase the temperature of air. It depends on whichever. But my point is, you can actually, you don't have a need to open down your window. I know some may say, but you prefer fresh air. Well, I'm just giving you the reasons why it can last longer for you. It's up to you to now try to rationalize why you have to always be rolling your windows. So if your AC if it's not working, get it to work. If you want to enjoy what are people that don't have issue with their switch enjoy, then you have to get your AC to work so your windows will almost, if not permanently up. Even when the weather is very hot, you park under the sun. What I usually do is when I come, no matter how urgent I am, that I need to rush somewhere, I'll first open the 4 doors. When the car is directly under the sun and the inside is already very hot, I'll open the 4 doors. After leave it to air to breathe in and out for like 2 minutes or so, I will start the vehicle, still leave the doors open, switch on the AC, still leave the doors open, Then after like maybe sometimes less than a minute with the AC running, then I will shut the doors and drive out. All these things can be done within 2 minutes or so, or more or less, depending on how long you want to. Even if you don't want to wait that long, just open the four doors. After some seconds, you can shut it down, start your car, and then put on your AC and go. You don't need to lower those your windows. Reason being, it's not just this control switch that Peugeot 607 have what's it called, a weakness on when it comes to lowering your windows. The window regulators, the regulators that takes the windows up and down also have issues when you use it often than other model of Peugeot car, like that of 406 compared to the 406. So the 407, 607 own behaves sometimes like the 407. It could be, if you are using them often, one day you think you just break the cable or whatever, all those plastics on that regulator that controls it will fail. Sometimes the regulator itself, the motor on it will fail, and the window will no longer go up or come down, or will stay halfway, or or could just fail, boom, just like that. But if you leave it up, you don't touch it, all of them stays like that. So that's one of the reasons why, as you are not using this master control switch, you also enjoy not having issue with your door window regulators. Now that is one. Now number two, if you want this switch assembly to last longer, do not, I repeat, do not get water to this switch. People that usually suffer from this are people who don't care or don't even value their car as much as they think they do. They take their car to where they wash vehicles and just leave it and walk away. Let the person do whatever they will, without giving them instruction or insisting on where and where not to touch. People, those guys that wash cars, they don't care. If you open, they will open the door and start spraying water every part of the inside the vehicle. They don't care. They will spray it as if it's outside the vehicle or the body of the car. You see them with their sponge and everything, washing, spraying, as in even with that high pressure pump, blowing it on the dashboards or the door cars, everywhere, all those electronics, and expecting everything to work well after. So if you are the type that do that, then you need to start taking more care of your vehicle. If somebody else must wash your car, that would be one of the things you must insist and tell them, do not. In fact, don't even rub any sponge around that area. Don't even spray any water. Threaten them if you have to. If they do it, this is what extent you are going to take. Don't even try it. The best way to clean up this side is they can get a sponge, soak it with water a little, and maybe a small sponge, just this thing, and then wipe around it. And they are wiping. If it's too much, they use another dry cloth to dry it off so it doesn't get into that place. This is an electronics. It's like saying you open your phone and spray water, or you spray water on your phone, or open the case, the battery side of your phone, spray water behind your phone, and expect nothing is going to happen to the phone. Or you open your laptop and spray water inside it, and you expect nothing is going to. It's a full. If you need to open it and see the panel inside it. It's an electronics with this and that, cutting, diode, IC, this, that. So if you are spraying water inside it, you are the one killing it. If you allow somebody else to be doing that, you are the one killing it. So that should be one of the things you have to keep in mind when you are washing your car by yourself or giving somebody else to wash for you. Don't let water to get to that place. Whatever you have to do to make that happen, it's up to you. If you don't care about it, you experience why I say this. One of the reasons why this particular thing is very important, this switch is important to work, is because Once it stop working well, even your central lock will stop working. You won't be able to, the car central lock will not work anymore. Sometimes even the remote control, you try to use remote control to lock your car vehicle, it won't work. So many things to stop working. Once this on the Peugeot 607, once this master control switch, Windows control switch, once it becomes faulty, so you it's for like I said, you need to have idea what you are getting yourself. If you think well, it's not just a small thing, maybe only the Windows will not work. When you start, you understand what I mean. I know people that have had cases and they keep calling, trying to find out how do they fix this thing and all that. It can be prevented. Even though it has that weakness, you can still use the car and you probably will never experience that failure. If you can apply what all this I'm saying. There are other ways you could, for example, if it's raining and in that case you may not have any choice, you have to open the door. Immediately I open the door, water will splash on that place. You know what I do? I always have a white handkerchief, or just call it a handkerchief or a dry cloth. You could get a light small towel. Just keep under the seat, either under the driver's seat or passenger seat. Just keep it around, so that immediately you open, if there is raining and you just you know how you have to open your door to jump in and all that. As soon as you go in, of course water will splash that place, touch it. You close it immediately, you pull out that handkerchief or that light or towel. Always make sure they are dry. Immediately use it to wipe out the water on it. It takes some time before the water starts to sink into this unit you are looking at, because it's a little bit I'm not saying sealed off, but at least it's not that porous for water to just touch it and get it immediately. So immediately you jump into the car, just use that, pull out the towel, the handkerchief, whatever it is, dry one, and then wipe it out. Once you wipe it out, it's done. You don't have to, as you're wiping, you see it to dry off. Though there may see it may still be a little bit wet, but it will go. It won't cause that harm. So I hope all these things I've said, this is especially if you intend to buy a 607, no, this is non-issue with it. In other words, it's not peculiar to 607. The failure of this thing, almost every modern vehicle now have this kind of master switch on the driver's door, and they do go through some of these issues. Go and ask anybody that drives a modern car that have electric adjustable windows or control windows. Ask them, they will tell you they do go through all these things. But the difference, the reason why I pointing out the 607 on this video is because when it fails, it will affect more than just the windows. So many things will be affected as well. So, and it's not cheap. The last time I priced the new one was around 100,000 naira. That was like 3 years ago or so, or if not more. So it probably will cost more than that now. Used one, last time I priced it was around that 40,000 naira. Like 2 years ago or last year. So imagine what the price could be now. It could be same amount, a little bit less, but it's more expensive than other Peugeot vehicles, especially produced within that time, a little bit higher or low or lesser years or lower years. So you understand what I mean? It's not cheap, and they are not even easily available. They are not even easily, even new ones. It's probably may not even be able to find it. I was able to find, but not every time that you find it. And used one, you may find it, and it may also have issues. Like I said, you don't know what it is until you want it, and it's not cheap. Other ones are, but this one is not. So if you intend to buy a 607 and you feel it's a big turn off, that you can't use a car, that you give somebody to wash a car and don't instruct them to prevent this thing from failing, then don't bother to buy a 607. If you feel it's a big turn off, a big major weakness you can't tolerate, then walk away, buy something else. If you know you can't be able to get a small towel or handkerchief so that if water touch it anytime it's raining or by mistake or for whatever reason, so that you won't have to, you find yourself too lazy or too big manism, or you are too big to pull out a towel to wipe out water there, and you blame the vehicle instead for not being able to withstand water on electronics. Then don't buy a scissors, look for something else. So I'm pointing it out. If you have already and you are having this issue, you twist now, you can prevent it when you get another good one. Or if you never had this issue, at least now you can also not experience. You can now take measures to not ever experience it. Trust me, I've never experienced it ever since I own my own 607. While other people, almost every now and then, their own is always failing. So take my advice or don't.